All right, what's going on, guys? So we're gonna go over the live execution, the actual trade that I ended up taking this morning. Obviously, if you can see from the title of the video, we did end up going 0-1 today. All in all, I think that just in review, right in hindsight, I do think that we ended up taking a good trade here. I think that obviously it was in confluence with my model and typically what I would look for as far as going long after a reversal from a down leg. Looking for divergence, a sweep of a low on an ES that we're not getting on an NQ, continuation, displacement to the upside. Um, I think definitely we could have done a couple things better. Namely, probably waiting for the 1 hour 250 level to be in play before even considering taking a trade. Just understanding that we were getting kind of this weird. Um, we were kind of failing to reach any of those 1 hour liquidity levels that I had drawn out. So I think if anything, I probably could have just waited. But that's pretty easy to say in hindsight because I think there's a lot of market conditions that we've had. Even I mean I can even go back, and I'm gonna back test January and February again. But if I'm going through the last couple months, that this the same trade I took probably would have been good in different conditions, and I would have taken it. Um, so I think not enough for me to call it a bad trade. In reality, it was it A plus or could it have been better? Yes, and I think those are just kind of those small fine tunes where maybe you avoid a loss on the day that you shouldn't have had one. Um, I'd say that's a good problem to have though when you're analyzing and fine tuning to that level because it's not a matter of over trading. We only took one trade. It wasn't a matter of over leverage. I understood what my risk was and I was ready for the loss there. Um, no emotional reaction. Um, Genuinely just a good trade in my model that just didn't play out right, and that happens as part of the game. Um, do I think that we could have executed a little bit better? Probably. We'll keep fine tuning that and back testing and making sure that we just come ready for tomorrow. So, I'm gonna play the video so you guys can actually see how I was thinking about the trade that I took, and what the end result actually was. One thing that becomes very hard when you have volatile price action is not to catch a knife, right? If if your bias is right, but you still can't get into the market at the right spot where you have reasonable risk to reward, whether that means sizing down, whether that means making sure that you're optimizing your entries and you're taking the best entries possible, you need to make sure you're doing that because there can be times where you're right as far as, okay, this is where I thought price was going to go. That's where it went. Um, and, you know, we're moving in that direction, but I took such a bad entry that I couldn't get that move, right? So here you're getting a pretty classic here SMT, right? So a little bit of divergence here. You come and again, it's what we've been seeing. You get ES kind of sweeping, creating new low of day, but you have NQ failing to do so. And then you get a shot off of that, right? So I think if you get clear displacement here off of this, I look to getting long. I think the clear double bottom here near 250. When I say double bottom, I'm not just referring to, obviously the candle pattern, but I think us moving down here and failing to achieve 250 twice with this divergence, I think gives me a little bit more confluence to see if this builds along higher before we inevitably get kind of like this big move down, right? I don't know if price wants to go down right away, but we'll wait for displacement for us to actually be able to get into anything. But I think realistically, if you get displacement kind of in this pocket above this candle high and high of day, I'm definitely looking to get in that, right? Um, I know it's been obviously very bearish, and it's kind of hard to look for longs when you've seen price move down so much. Um, you got to have faith in your model, and one thing that has worked really well for me in back testing has been trading these reversals after divergence, and typically divergence after sweep of high of day or high low of day typically work really well for me because those are kind of momentum builders for a pretty big leg more times than not, so you can get a pretty good RR move. So price starting to move up here a bit, right? And I'm just gonna make sure that I'm kind of set up right to take trades when I'm ready to do so. And I am now. So I just wanted to be ready. I want to be ready here, right? I know I'm walking through this, but we're doing it live right now. I'm actually just gonna move this to high of day, both of these, right? So that's gonna be a really important point for me. Not too much worried about this this swing high now that we've already achieved that. What's really likely is for us to kind of get chop in this range. If you don't get any continuation, what you probably get is a slow move, and this may be kind of a coiled move for majority of the action to happen, in the afternoon. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting because you get this big drop here, and overnight you get this range bound price action, a huge drop right before market open, but you fail to come to the equal lows on the day that I was marking out 250. You create divergence here. I just think that if it gives me an entry here, this would be kind of a textbook. I'm okay with the risk of taking a long here, even understanding sentiment. So I'm just gonna look at how close we are. Yeah, so I'm looking to get in here 353. Sorry, just gonna make this 1 minute. So actually, it's gonna be limit by 4 at 353. So it's gonna be buy limit 1. Yes. So I'm just gonna quiet that down. If you take high of day on both of these, I hold off for entry because typically, at least in my model, that's going to be creation of or taking of liquidity that times 8. Just trying to calculate risk on my smaller accounts already set on so I'd go 308.50 here. So I just want to make sure I actually mark this out. 462. So we'll just go 460 here as far as where we're looking to actually get out here, right? And it looks like it will tag us in here. All right, so we'll see if we get some of this continuation. I think honestly, for all the reasons I pointed out, it's kind of a good look to the upside. We've been getting these sweep of highs and then continuation down, but getting a little different of a look now since this morning, right? And not to say that it's much because we're near very important liquidity, so sometimes price is just kind of loading. It's going to move slow. But as far as trusting your model, understanding what you're seeing, I'm not afraid to go long here. I'm not just trying to, be take an opposite look here, but just watching here on the Apex trade here on the funded. So we'll look. I think we go break even on maybe about 25 points here on this mini that we took on NQ. But we understand what we got in, understood the risk. Okay. All right. So we'll take us out there. We'll take us out. Okay, perfect. So we didn't get to. Just wanted to make sure. All right, perfect. So that's gonna be our risk on sorry. So I'm gonna go 9 a.m. here. Yes, we're just gonna lock out here on Top Step. We did size fully there. So again, I'm okay with that trade. That's one of those where it's like it takes kind of experience for you to understand the risk you're taking and why. And I understood why it couldn't have worked out, right? Because you look here, and we haven't really gotten price action in the first 30 minutes where we've created three kind of swing lows and very similar range, right? Where it's taking kind of like three tests to come down. So this is definitely different, right? So this is where you kind of sit back and wait. It's like, okay, I know the playbook we've been running the last few days, but there's obviously a change in the way price is delivering, and it could be for a lot of different reasons. I think most simply put, we've had very high range days the last few days, so you know, it just kind of comes with that. Um, so we're just gonna wait here to see what we get. I think at this point, anything between like 250 and 460 here, you're gonna be hard pressed to really want to take anything here because just kind of price is definitely slowed down here. So we'll wait for it to kind of give us continuation on one side to see if maybe we take something else on the apex. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but we'll wait here.